It would surprise anyone to find out that some extraterrestrial being was concerned about their health and survival and even monitoring them in real time. But some people have told of these experiences where help, advice, and even the odd lecture have been provided by their alien mentors. In this, the third of our series, Friend or Foe, we look at 3 of these illuminating cases. The Teaching Room. Jim Sparks has authored a book about his numerous abductions by greys over several decades since 1988, which, like many, he initially resisted. They started as strange, vivid dreams in which he was paralysed and led from his house by odd-looking beings, the evidence solidifying when he found unusual footprints around the house and twigs and flowers from the garden strewn around inside. Eventually, he was able to consciously remember quite a lot about these incidents without any form of hypnosis, abductions, wherein he was taken on board their craft and given mental and physical examinations. Sparks relates that during one such encounter in August of 1994, he was taken inside a UFO and to what he calls the teaching room. In the middle of the room stood a table with a black cube-shaped box sitting on it. 2 grey aliens stood by, of whom one said to him, "Look, we have a gift for you." Trying to stay calm, Sparks asked about the gift and what they wanted him to do with it. He was told to do with it what he wished, whereupon the ET stepped back to invite him to open it. Sparks attempted to open the box for several minutes before finally sliding the lid gently open. He related that he then noticed a foul odour emanating from inside the box. The box contained 6 or 7 vertically placed long glass tubes, each roughly 1.5 inches in diameter. In the bottom of each lay a thick dark brown viscous and smelly fluid about 2 inches deep. Sparks then asked the greys what the substance was and was again told that it was his gift and that they had extracted the fluid from his lungs. Sparks was a smoker of cigarettes at the time, and the aliens had cleansed his lungs of the cigarette tar. He was shocked to be told that the black sticky gunk had once resided in his lungs, and he was lost for words. The alien then led him into another room where he encountered a strange mirror. In his reflection, Sparks viewed himself, but appearing thin and frail and losing his hair. Perhaps this was forewarning of how sick cigarette smoking would make him. When he asked what this incident was all about, he received no answer, but found himself losing consciousness only to wake up back in his home. Interestingly, Sparks had already made an appointment to see regression hypnotherapist Bud Hopkins, and on attending and undergoing hypnosis, recalled exactly the same details as in his memory. There was just one additional element. The alien had also told him off, saying that they wanted him to be more responsible when speaking to other humans about his contacts and interactions with them. Another witness interviewed by Joseph Burks and Preston Dennett in a broad UFO analysis had a similar experience. This person claimed to have been healed twice. The first time, the ETs had removed a large amount of black tar-like substance, which they had similarly shown to the abductee. However, this person had been drawn to the smoking of marijuana, and their second healing was like an intervention. This person reported that the greys had come to them and handed out a massive scolding like they had never had before. They kept telling this witness, "This is not the life we wanted for you," and, despite the awkwardness, he or she claims that they must have surely saved their life. Do you have a paranormal experience you'd like to share with our viewers? Record your story on your phone or write it down and email your video or written account to us at weirdworldstories@gmail.com. Power healing. A Canadian woman named E.A. Sabine has written about her strange encounter with alien healers. She had become ill in July 2006, soon after her father had just passed away. Feeling exhausted and grieving, she found her feet starting to swell, and over the following weeks, the swelling and inflammation spread up her legs and to her lower back. Feeling nauseous and weak, she had stopped eating and drinking and was unable to urinate. Her doctor immediately diagnosed hypertension and chronic renal failure, and she was given the two equally daunting options of dialysis or kidney transplant. By this point, Sabine was experiencing fever, and her doctor wanted her hospitalised as a matter of urgency. She refused even this course of action, choosing to first go home and pray. She also contacted everyone in her family and asked them to pray for her, emailing her friends and informing her employer. She related that as she lay in bed that evening, she found herself surrounded by beings she described as brown creatures wearing hooded robes. She was amazed at what eventuated, describing how the strange creatures massaged her kidneys all night, and by the following morning her kidneys were functioning again. When she was able to get out of bed and use the bathroom, she found it a strange feeling, as she had been unable to do so for days. When, feeling much better soon after that, she returned to the hospital for another blood test, the results showed that her kidneys were indeed working now, and her doctor was astonished. He had told her that kidney function could not be restored, and so now assumed that he had made a misdiagnosis. Sabine told neither him nor any of her family of the scary experience that seemed to have healed her. She had heard the beings communicate in a manner that was obviously not of this earth, and believed them to be from another dimension. With her renal failure cured, she was nevertheless left feeling stressed and traumatised by her encounter with the aliens, while grateful for the help they had given. Her experience wasn't yet over when, 1 year later, she underwent what appeared to be a checkup. This took the form of a vivid dream that she was in a circular white room, like a kind of medical examination room, where the advanced technology amazed her. She was seated on a stool while an unseen doctor placed an instrument against her kidneys. On a table in front of her, she was astonished to see displayed a full-colour, three-dimensional and animated model of her kidneys. She was then able to view her liver, which strangely was all black. The alien doctor present told her that this process was happening to her liver from regularly drinking Diet Cola. Their advice was that she needed to stop drinking it because it was causing damage to her stomach and liver. Again, the aliens were not only helping a human individual with a healing intervention, but also dispensing medical advice by warning them of the dangers of their lifestyle choices. An interesting aspect of Sabine's story is the powerful flurry of prayers for help sent out by not only herself but friends and family. According to UFO researcher Preston Dennett, many people who pray or consult their spirit guides may also be inadvertently sending out a request for extraterrestrial intervention. While the aliens' healing always takes place according to their own terms and not ours, there seems to be some indication that they may be listening to our spiritual requests for help and may sometimes answer them. Sadly, there are no guarantees, as those humans who do get assistance seem quite randomly selected, while many in need, who are keen for an ET intervention and intent on compliance, seem to be overlooked. Gut feeling. Jim Sparks related yet another fairly direct health suggestion by his alien abductors, reporting that they have often examined him and monitored his health. As well as advising him to quit smoking, they also expressed opinions about his diet. Some of his medical exams involved very painful intestinal probes, and during one such assessment he blacked out. On regaining consciousness, he was no longer in severe pain, but the two aliens who were finishing up the procedure seemed decidedly disapproving. Communicating telepathically, one of them told him that it was necessary for him to stop eating animals, telling him his system was overloaded with trash. Its parting words were, "Intelligence dictates that you do not have to kill to survive." Sparks was somewhat shocked by their use of the word trash, and as a self-described committed carnivore, he found himself in a dilemma. However, he decided to give up red meat, limiting his meat intake to fish and poultry. Exactly 30 days after the alien colonoscopy, the ETs returned and performed a follow-up procedure, again quite loathsomely painful. Again, Sparks shoutily demanded to know why they were doing this, and was told that they had to make sure that his change of diet was helping him. It was, they said. Years later, his diet is still largely plant-based, and he says that of many of the abductees he has met, most are also vegetarian.